What's good or what's bad? Important question. Is what you're going through right now good or bad? A lot depends on the end result, which you haven't seen yet. Let's talk about that today. What's up, everybody? Steve Seminaro, the 8th grade dropout. Today, the question of the day is, what is good and what is bad? What do I mean by that? You know, there's an old ancient Chinese proverb, story rather. Talks about a farmer. The farmer has a horse. The horse runs away. People come up to him and said, I'm sorry about the horse running away. He said, you know, what's good, what's bad? They're like, well, that's kind of weird to say, but he goes on about his day. They do. That horse then brings back 7 wild horses with it. So there's now 8 horses on that farm. People come up to him and say, wow, that's really lucky. He says, you know, what's good and what's bad? It might be lucky. They also think, okay, that's weird. But they move on. One day, his son is riding one of those wild horses and falls off, breaking his leg. People say, wow, that's very unfortunate. He said, you know, what's good and what's bad? Seems a little insensitive to say, but they move about their day. A little while later, the country goes to war. People come to look at his son who is of age. They say, well, he's got a broken leg. We can't take him. People say, wow, how fortunate. Again, the farmer says, what's good or what's bad? What's the point of that story? It's simply this. You look at your situations in life, and it's really, really, really important not to judge what this situation that you're going through right now means in the big scheme of things, because you just don't know. That time you got in trouble, like me, did it do something? Did it change your perspective? Did you let it change your perspective? Was that what you needed? Could have been. For me, it was. As a matter of fact, I was completely blind to my own lack of direction and focus until that point. The farmer in the story just simply understood the big picture. In my life, everything that has seemed bad at a time has ended up good. Does that make sense? Does that resonate with you? See, okay, let's just take, at 15 years old, I got arrested. Seemed like a bad thing. Definitely was a bad thing at the time. But if I hadn't have done that, if I hadn't had that happen, I'd be in a totally different place, because I was hanging out with people that were doing some of the hardest drugs out there. You know what stopped me hanging out with those people that were doing the hardest drugs out there? Me getting arrested. Opened my mind up a little bit. Changed my direction, changed my course. Started going to church after that, shortly after that, actually. Everything changed at that moment. I got kicked out of school. Is that good? Was that bad? Well, at the time, it was difficult, so it seemed bad. It seemed like a bad thing. But if that hadn't happened, I don't know that I have to work as hard. And if I didn't have to work as hard, I wouldn't have put so much emphasis and effort into what I was doing with my time, what I was doing with my life. I'd venture to say that I may not have ever owned my businesses. I may not have ever studied so hard, because I knew I had some making up to do. So it's the point. The point is, no matter what we go through, I've said it before in my past videos, whatever you go through in life, it's either an anchor that holds you back or holds you down, or a sail. The person that determines is you. My particular story, my getting kicked out of school in the 8th grade, was an anchor for a long time. I remember it very clearly. I was embarrassed about it. A couple people asked me about what school I went to for high school. I told them what school I went to for high school. It was a lie, because I didn't go to high school. Until one day when I realized that that was holding me back because I just wasn't being honest with myself. And I started seeing the very thing that was embarrassing to me and difficult for me as a sale, as something that's part of my story. Why do I call this channel the 8th grade dropout? Well, that's exactly it, because you know what? When I was young and I had long hair and I had big ears, in my opinion, my ears were large, I cut my hair down because I realized the only way to deal with that phobia was just to deal with it, right? Same exact thing. Now, in my life, I'm dealing with that memory in a different way. I'm dealing with that memory in a way that provides me wind in my sail, because I'm looking at it and saying, you know what? That changed my life in a way that was positive because of all the things that came after it. But, and here's the kicker, it doesn't always seem that way at the time, right? You might be sitting there, you might be in a situation now that either you've created, like I did, or others have created for you. You know, sometimes we don't have control over our situation, and sometimes bad things happen to good people. Sometimes it's very difficult to see that that event might just put you on a different path and take you down a different road that you would not have gone on without it. That is today's video. What's good or bad? Look at your life right now. Be open, be honest about your mistakes, right? Be honest about my mistakes. That's how I see it. Be honest with yourself, be honest with others, and you just might find that the hard stuff leads you in places that you wouldn't have gone. It should have been very easy. That's today's video. I hope you'd enjoy this. I hope you get something out of it. If you do, please subscribe to my channel. And until next video, peace out from the 8th grade dropout.